I am so happy to be back in community with y'all as we're navigating an increasingly alarming environment. In the wake of the 2016 election, I saw the fragility of American democracy and I felt a calling to protect it. I spent the first 2 years talking with and listening to women across the country. And I learned that there were millions and millions of moderate folks in the middle who wanted a lot of the same things I want for our country, but they avoided talking about politics, didn't feel knowledgeable on current events, and worried that they were alone and that no one shared their view. And in my conversations with friends and allies focused on engaging historically marginalized populations, I learned that there was a real gap to fill in the movement to engage moderate women, and in particularly to develop some expertise with moderate women living in suburban, rural, and small town communities, so that together we can build the support we need for a multiracial democracy. I founded Galvanize USA to genuinely begin to understand this audience and engage them in a role to protect our democracy and advance progress for all. What we're going through right now in the United States is part of a global rise of authoritarianism. Historically, there have been two key conditions that really pave the way for the appeal of a strongman leader. The first is economic anxiety. This creates an othering and us versus them mentality. This combination of economic anxiety and othering leads to a breakdown in social cohesion, the erosion of democratic norms and ideals, and it creates the ideal environment for authoritarianism. The conditions that pave the way for authoritarianism are being exacerbated. We are seeing threats to our democracy flooding the zone at a dizzying pace. Fortunately, we have spent the last several years figuring out what motivates this critical audience, understanding their values like compassion and fairness and in-group care, and learning what holds them back. What are their barriers to standing up to protect our democracy and making sure everyone is safe? We know that part of that is their doubts about their own civic knowledge and power, and a susceptibility to blaming the other. We've spent years learning about how to engage moderate women effectively. And so as the field is right now casting about and saying, oh my God, what is our Joe Rogan? How do we engage folks through cultural and entertainment media? We actually are ahead of the game, really connecting with people, helping them make sense of the moment and building up their knowledge and confidence and agency. And so the major takeaway is we understand our audience and we can move them with an approach that is rooted in neuroscience, behavioral psychology, and data science, that our persuasion messaging that we created for moderate women has traction with a broader audience. So I just want to be as upfront and honest as I can about the rigor with which we've been looking at what's happened, what's needed now, what are the real headwinds that we're facing. So I'm going to turn to that and share with you how we really are made for this moment. To galvanize our audience, we're going to do three things. We're going to focus on the economy. If we do not address this up front, the other pieces will not fall into place because those economic concerns are driving vote choice. They are so real and top of mind. We have to take our effective messaging on the economy and scale it up and continue to move our audience, helping them to see what's happening right now and who has their back. Secondly, we need to shore up democratic norms and ideals. This is just a key building block of durable democracies and a concrete way we can connect with our audience and engage them to stand up for the things that we all care about. And then lastly, we're building social cohesion and we're decreasing othering. When we do this, it effectively diffuses the central tactic of the authoritarian playbook. So let me share a little bit more about why I say we're ahead of the curve on reaching audiences with cultural programming and new media strategies. We piloted our cultural program with our 501c3 initiative, Galvanized Together, in July of 2023. Prior to that, we did intensive research to really understand what issues take up our audience's brain space and attention. Where are they spending their time and attention? And we designed our programming to meet them there and provide them with some relief from their troubles. Week in and week out, since July of 23, we have been there for our audience. We've been delivering cultural programming that moderate women across race love and return to. We've become a trusted source to help them shape their understanding of current events and to foster pro-social, pro-democracy behavior. We've had pretty phenomenal growth since we piloted this program in July of 23. We have had over 625,000 all-time subscribers and a 71% retention rate, which means women join the community, they actively engage, and they stay because they love the programming that we're delivering to them. Our growth continues with approximately 1,500 new subscribers joining every single day. I'm going to walk you through how some of that programming works. We counter the authoritarian playbook by building up women's will and capacity to use their civic power to defend democracy and to protect each other. Our programming builds civic knowledge, confidence, and agency. We often hear from women in our research about how they avoid conflict associated with talking about current events, how they defer to others in their life, often men, who they perceive as more knowledgeable and more confident in their opinions, and who are getting their information from those bro podcasts. In focus groups last month, we heard moderate women who were anxious about the state of America say they were afraid to speak up or to join protests, and that they were feeling bullied. We also host community conversations. These are called In Focus, and then we share out clips from these conversations for others to watch. So again, this is a community that's made up of moderate women across race, and this is an opportunity for women to hear other perspectives and to get that social proof and have time and space to think about what they think in an open-minded environment. Let's watch this clip.
We were trying to help a man who had 4 children. They needed clothing, school supplies, immediate food. They told him, do not go to DHR. You will be reported for being an illegal immigrant. It made me upset. He's trying to do the best he can. He has hungry children.
There was a lady that was homeless. We would go up and ask her, is there anything you need? And she would say, I could use a pair of shoes or a blanket. I think it taught a lot to my daughter about compassion. I'm gonna cry.
Leaving that legacy to your daughter, that's amazing.
It's not monetary. It was just showing up for someone because they needed it. And it really makes my heart feel good.
So I was coming out of the worst depression that I had ever experienced. My church was doing a compassion project. Every day they would give away something. Diapers, school supplies, brand new shoes. It just really, really just made an impression on me and really took me out of that funk that I was in. It's something that I'm never gonna forget.
What do you think the people in your community need right now in order to thrive?
I think they need to be heard.
Financial resources. We need help with single moms, with homelessness.
I think compassion is where everything should start.
What you heard in that clip was you heard them sharing their values around compassion and taking care of others. That kind of conversation is really helpful for shaping perspective and building the will and confidence to take action. Every time we do these groups, women say things like this: I feel like everyone came from a different background and different experiences, but somehow we all have the same values and the same goals. Having the privilege to sit and speak with you ladies and get to know one another was a great experience for me, and I would do it all over again. The time is really now to scale this approach. We need more people, more programming, more platforms. So we're going to start by growing Galvanized Together with cultural programming. We're going to be doubling our subscribers this year alone. We're expanding the content we're providing, really thinking about who are the audience that we need to understand better and create content that will work with them more in this moment. We're expanding to new media platforms. So we've just completed phase 1 of a media consumption study, looking at where are the social and traditional media platforms that women use, how much time do they spend on them, what types of content do they most enjoy on those, and we're expanding our approach in the most strategic way possible. The In Focus video that you saw, we're sending out clips of that. Would women want to see the whole hour of that show? We'll also continue to do our ads and content that we test, that we know will move folks. And then lastly, we really believe in scaling by sharing. We have always believed this from the day we started, that we are part of a community that is working together to build a durable multiracial democracy. And we do that by sharing every bit of our research, our media understanding, our consumption studies, the effective messaging, and the programming that we create. If we are learning something, we are sharing it with the movement and making it freely available for them so that they also can be learning as we learn. Thank you very much.